the time has come to reconstruct this beautiful, fully customized Suzuki bass harp. Our journey has included sanding and lapping the top surface here for absolute precise fit of the mouthpiece and the slide. And also we have this gorgeous, isn't that lovely, ERGO button. And we did some rework, not a lot, but a little. And so now we're going to start thinking about putting this together, and I thought I'd just talk to you for a minute while I get this stuff ready to go, and then we'll go ahead and do the job. Of course, the glue that was used on the button was metal epoxy, which is a very, very tough glue. And at one point in time, I had this slide covered in electrical tape, black electrical tape, because it was held in a splint to pop off the original button. Again, isn't that gorgeous? And just a gorgeous shape cut on the lathe. Okay, so, one thing I kind of want to do is to just prepare the slide with some slide oil. And I do want to note that you certainly don't have to worry about lubricating metal to plastic. So I wipe that off. Actually, it just kind of increases stiction, a very tiny amount, not that it means much. Okay, so you'll see I kind of put the parts here ready to go. And I like to preset the mouthpiece underside. We'll get just a tiny bit of oil like this, and of course it's been carefully cleaned. So that goes like that. And then we have these two nice little mouthpiece screws here. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a close-up while we start doing the work, okay? I think you'd enjoy that. So we'll come in with a real tight camera angle on the work being done. Enough of my face. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to I think I'm gonna go ahead and preload this mouthpiece here. And what does preload mean? It just means I'm putting in the screws and those nice bumpers that are in good condition so that this will be ready to go when I am ready to put this part together. And it's time now for some messing around with okay, these are our mouthpiece screws. And let's go ahead and put all of the screws that are helpful to putting it together here. Those are the reed plate screws. And just going to make sure here that screws are the same length. Mouthpiece screws are the same screws as the screws that are used to hold the covers on. So I'm going to leave put these guys here like this so they're ready to roll. Glasses time. So I have light, glasses, all my little parts ready to go. Okay, the first thing is let's get this spring in there. And you might say, well, why do you know where the spring goes? Well, you see this slot up here? That's for the slide spring, okay? And that's how you kind of know where it goes. How do you get it in there properly? Use the right tool and leverage. It must go in loaded. It won't work if you just lay it in. It must be loaded when it goes in. And what do I mean by loaded? Don't forget that the spring will apply pressure this way to keep the slide out. So what I'll do is to take this like this, and I will insert this into the part. Now you always, you go ahead and you put the long tine through, okay? Come to here, twist around, hold it in position, hold it into place with your thumb, and make sure it does not want to pop out. This one did not want to pop out. Sometimes they do. Okay. And now we have this. Now I mark these top and bottom. So this one goes on the top, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and put one screw in like this. And this, of course, is the bottom. Why didn't I lay these down this way? Because I don't want to hit those massive reeds that have stuff glued on them. If I do it this way, then I will not be in a situation where they get bent at all. So I can just come in here and lay this here like this, and lay it into position like this, line it up like this, and come here. Okay, so now that one screw holds everything kind of the way it needs to be. I'm going to be looking now at all of the edges to see, are they flush, are they fitting smoothly and tightly. It's very easy to get these in wrong. And then we can just kind of drop all of them in and show you how to. Now don't forget that only one of the reed plates has screw threads. The other one, there are little bigger holes on top. I don't use a tool to put these in. I do them by hand. Easy enough, huh? Okay. And you'll notice I'm not allowing the harmonica to sit on its side at all, because I don't want to squish those big fat monster reeds. Now, when I screw in these screws early on, I don't tighten them up very much at all at this stage. And you'll notice that the action that I utilize, I go backwards, click. Now I know I can come in and that the threads are lined properly. And I'll go back and forth. In other words, these are not tight. They're just kind of snug-ish. Okay? This type of screwdriver is designed to sit on your palm, and it can turn, see? So you can work the screwdriver with your fingertips, is how you do it. The trick when you're doing these screws is never force anything. Okay, now you can see that all of them are in, but you know that I didn't tighten any of them. And if we look on the other side, we can see all of them are poking through. And then let's look at the edges again. Is everything aligned perfectly? Because I'm about to tighten this up and I want to make sure that everybody's on there correctly. And they are. Now I'm not flopping it down. And again, why? Because look at the size of the metal that's been soldered onto those reeds to get the low note. And if I lean this down, I could change that reed gap real easily. Now I'm ready to do my final tighten up. So I just come in. And you don't want to go too tight. Don't forget, you're dealing with brass here. That's a pretty soft metal. I apply in pressure, so that the head doesn't come off. And this is not, very hard. Be careful that you do not hit the breast sabers, because you will knock one off easily at this point. Okay. Now, what I've learned to do at this point is to go back and just make sure I didn't forget something here. Is everybody exactly? I wanted that a little tighter there. That's okay. So again, professionalism with working with stuff means that you do quality control all along. Nice quality control here just to make sure that everything really is as tight as I want it. Now, if you tighten these too much, you're going to strip out the threads and you're going to dent. You could dent the reed plate. So now we've gone with our second round. Okie doke. And we're ready now to go ahead and to put these nice covers on. Okay. It's a pretty easy cover set because the stanchions are integral. We come to here and make sure that they are mating properly. Are the numbers on the top? Yes, they are, because if they're not, then you have to start that whole process all over again. Okay. In other words, you could put the covers on backwards, which happens. What I like to do with these is I like to come from the underside with the big one, like that. And you got to kind of hold the whole sandwich together at this point while you're doing it, because you really aren't going to have anything too precise. Now, at this point, I can come here. And I'm having, of course, the issue of getting this screw to mate into that. And the way I found is to let it drop down a little bit with my hand. And then to bring it up and let it mate. And it should grab. Yes, and it has just a little bit here. Well, it's still loose, and I see I bring it down here and I let it kind of relax and fall into place. Okay. I come to here. That one goes like that. I come around here. See, they're kind of loose still so that everybody can find a comfortable place here and relax in their positions, and I'm not going too hard. And then I come up on the edge, see, when I'm ready to tighten up so I can apply pressure from the other side. Okay, now I just want to make sure that it's not uncommon that the cover might sneak over the edge and go right over the edge of the reed plate. I don't like that. And I also want to make sure that I have a little bit of down pressure on this when I'm coming in for my final tighten. Now, in this case, I need to have a stabilizing screwdriver coming from the other side to get what I want. So what am I talking about where, see, a cover can flip right over the edge like that. Now it's on wrong, so you got to push it back manually and, get this back to, so that these covers are riding on those reed plates and they're not flopped in. Okay, now, oftentimes you will have to come here and have a screwdriver on one side and then on the other side to get a nice little snug fit. And you'll see that now I want to take a look over here. See, I mean, did that cover stay where it's on that reed plate and is not, you know, flopped over? It won't ruin the harp if you do that, but that is not the way it was designed, and you might change the shape of that cover a little bit, I suppose, if you got too aggressive. And then I just come in here and very light pressure. And at this point in time, I would just come in and just see how pretty that cover set is. It's very beautiful covers. And here's this one, like this. And the time has come to position our slide, and I'm going to show you how I do this, because I don't do it here. Oh boy, what a long video, 16 minutes. Well, it is what it is, right? Okay. You want to have a lip to work against, and I'll show you why here in a second, why that lip is so important to do this job correctly. Okay, here we go. Now, you might be wondering, first of all, put your mouthpiece in the correct place, and which is which? Well, see that little dug-in area here? That's where the spring head will go, and that's supposed to match with that there. So your first step is to take this and then put it up against this edge, see, and I can apply inward pressure, okay? And then that way, the bumper can go into that hole, okay? Right like this. And I can get it to mate properly, just like that. I can push the slide in just a hair, come in here, and come in here. Okay, perfect. Now I haven't tightened anything up too much here yet because I'm still testing. And I'm just going to come here and give this one. Now an air-tightened harp, you don't tighten the screws down very much because the tolerances are very, very tight right now. And very nice indeed. So you'll see that the button now has brought the harp, the hand away. The button is away from the face. Okay, away from the face. Now to test this, that's our next video, I'm going to use a Kettlewell mouthpiece slider